What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at the second Amazoness Fusion Monster coming out of the Collector's Pack 2017. This shouldn't have been a shock to anyone if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Art v the anime. If you read the manga, you knew that this was coming because the Tyler sisters played this and Empress on the field at the same time, obviously. The two fusions that are meant to be played together for the Amazoness archetype. This is Amazoness Pet Liger. It's basically a fusion form of the tiger. It's an Earth Beast fusion, obviously. 2500 attack, 2400 defense, level 7. It's got actually a really good stat line for a level 7 monster. It requires an Amazoness tiger plus any Amazoness monster, so it's actually very easy to summon. Effect number 1, during damage calculation, when this card attacks, you can have this card gain 500 attack during this damage calculation only. So basically, when it attacks, it is a giant beat stick. 3000 attack is actually really strong for a level 7 monster. But again, that is only when this monster attacks. Effect number 2, after damage calculation, when an Amazoness monster you control attacked an opponent's monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 800 attack. So this is pretty cool because offensively it gives you a little more pressure on your opponent. Like, let's just say you have 3 Amazoness monsters and your opponent has 3 monsters on the field. If you attack with the Pet Liger, then you can trigger this effect and you can target another monster on your opponent's side of the field that hasn't been attacked yet. You can make it lose 800. You can then attack that with a different monster, and then you can activate this effect again, because this effect is not once per turn. So this effect can actually rack up a bunch of damage, maybe 2400 extra damage, 1600 extra damage, at least 800 extra damage at the minimum. And then the effect, the third effect says your opponent cannot attack other Amazoness monsters. So the third effect is really why this and Empress kind of create a soft lock. That's really how the Tyler sisters were winning on the anime, is they would get Empress out and then they would get Pet Tiger out, and it would create a lock where you could only attack the Liger, but obviously the Empress would protect it from battle. I mean, overall, I think that Empress is probably the stronger card. Its stat line is just a little better, and the summoning conditions are basically the same. I know that she requires an Amazoness queen plus an Amazoness monster, but the freaking Amazoness princess counts as a queen, so it's not really that big of a deal. They both require 2 Amazoness monsters. That's what I'm getting at. I honestly think that you'll probably never go straight into the Liger, just because the thing about Liger and Empress is Liger is just an offensive card. This card is basically just a giant battering ram that makes your other Amazoness battering rams as well. This is just an offensive card that is meant to just kill your opponent. It's not a card that gives you any protection or makes your monsters harder to kill or anything like that. It's just strictly an offensive card. And the weird thing about it is Amazoness, they don't really seem like they have that OTK potential unless you're doing like one of those little loops that I showed in another video. Like, it's not like Lunar Lights where if you get Leo Dancer on the field, she can pump out 7,000 damage by herself, and then you have other things like Purple Butterfly that can put her over 8,000 damage, and she can be a 1-card OTK. Amazoness don't have that type of offensive potential, so I don't really see you ever going into this card first of the 2 fusions unless you're going to kill your opponent that turn. Like, this is a secondary fusion, and unless Amazoness are going to get some type of like Miracle Fusion or Brilliant Fusion, it is just going to be difficult to get both of them out at the same time. Empress and Liger, obviously they did it in the anime because they were playing tag duels. The Tyler sisters only each had to summon 1 fusion monster, but in real life you don't have a tag partner unless you're playing on like YGO Dev Pro. Then you can pull it off, but in real life, like getting Empress and Liger out at the same time is going to be fucking hard. The only way that I see you doing it and it being practical is probably using Ultra Polymerization, because then you can kind of fuse twice and use the same materials for both fusions. But outside of that, I don't know. I think that most of the time, well, like 90% of the time, I'd rather just go into Empress, because not only does she give my field protection, but if she dies by a card effect, I can get an Amazon Queen or Amazoness Queen, including the princess, from my graveyard. So she's just a safer card, even though she doesn't, she isn't quite the beat stick, the battering ram that Liger is. So I mean, I think that Liger is still a card that you definitely want to run at Amazoness. I just think it's just an okay card. Just an okay card with some offensive potential. But in most cases, you'll probably summon Empress first. So you guys let me know what you think. Maybe there will be another way of getting multiple fusions out at the same time. That's what they kind of need. Like, I don't want to say that Konami needs to release something crazy broken, but I don't know, maybe like a cyber, you know what they need? They need a card like Force Tricks. They need a normal summon an Amazoness where you can just like normal summon it, maybe banish a card from your hand, and then you just summon any Amazoness fusion monster from your extra deck, like ignoring the conditions. Like that would be pretty good. That would be an easy way to get both of the cards out at the same time, and then you'd have your lock, and you know, hopefully your lock can basically get you home and you can win the duel. So whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.